It's a beautiful morning and I'm on my way to Southampton to see Tom Frame at Etch UK. Follow me. I'm not gonna lie, my first time in Southampton and I got the whole bus to myself, bro. Pretty cool.
Darling, you send me. Darling, you send me. Darling, you send me. Darling, you send me. You send me.
Yeah, so you started off in England?
Yeah,
or was it Durban?
No, we started in Durban. I ran a business in Durban. It wasn't going that well, and then I met my wife Shirley there, and then she was going over to England, so we kind of broke up. About 6 months later, a guy's yacht was stuck in Las Palmas. A couple of friends. Canary Islands. So just below.
Next Africa.
Yeah, and same African connection again. So his yacht had been stuck there, a bit of a mutinous situation where he couldn't go back, get his own yacht. There was a crew member on the boat that was a bit wild. So he sent me out to get the boat back to the UK. So that was my ticket out of South Africa.
I always feel like, you know, if you want to penetrate an industry, you have to find your angle.
And you have a little gap.
Yeah, you have to find your little gap and just slip in. Because at the end of the day, the further you go up, you know, the smaller it gets. The world just gets smaller. You know, if you get to the top of whatever industry you're in, you know, you're going to be sitting next to, you know, the oil people and investors and whatever, because they all sort of meet at the top. You know, it's like a pyramid.
Yeah.
You know?
And the higher you go, the greater your influence, but also the greater your responsibility. So we see our entire company. We're not big. There's only about 70 of us, I think. And then this team will be the next team here. But the responsibilities that you have are to those people, and then those people's families, and then those people have cleaners. So you know, as people look up to you, the way that you act and the way that you are is massively important.
What kind of person do I have to become if I'm fit enough to teach people?
Yeah.
And that is the biggest challenge. So it hasn't really been building the business; it's been building myself. And as you build yourself, the business sort of builds. You know, as you start to align to the principles, you know, as you start to think, okay, I need to work on organization, on discipline, on being honest, on integrity. I just start working on these things. The business just sort of flourishes by itself. You know, did you experience that as well?
This is what happens all the time. So as I'm kind of deconstructing the business, last year a very big financial organization nearly bought us. So and that got me to the place of, is this what it's about? This is why I'm building the business.
Yeah.
And actually, it's not the case at all, because you know we see this time and time again where banks buy creative industries like us, and you know use teams or marketing teams, and then they pull them inside of the corporate, because the corporate is not really designed to look after people. It's more designed to look after the shareholders. Everything in the interest of the company is based on shareholder value, and actually all the values in the human capital. So if you switch it around and just take care of the people, and the way that you take care of the people is by being a really good leader, and you lead by example. So your organization will become who you are, essentially.
It's a bit showy. It's a bit showy off you. Me every now and then just says put my hands back on the steering wheel.
He's even crossed his arm.
It is just absolutely amazing.
So can you actually go to sleep now?
I could if I want to, but it'll moan at me if I'm not holding the steering wheel.
take all our jobs, man.
Bless you.
Kick him out of England.
If you treat the human beings in a way of a culture of honor, their influence goes wider than that. They then treat their family members, and so the influence that you have by the way you treat human beings goes much further than just me and you.
Yeah, that's
You
true.
know, they goes home. They then
They're in a better mood.
Yeah, they then learn to potentially, how they treat their cleaners or how they treat everything. So it's all kind of a human to human thing. So you just respect humans. Understand that we are in this place of work. Understand that there's this kind of these rules of money flowing backwards and forwards. But that's just part of the game. And then you just respect the humans. And your influence is huge, and I think I take that quite seriously.
Yeah.
And therefore people probably respond to that. The one thing that I do now is that we always look back. We look back when we started our journey. And I started in a little basement, in Southampton after I got here from South Africa, and I only had like £400 in my pocket. That was like it. Nowhere really to stay, so camped out with my parents. And you look at some of the decisions that you made there, and you look back now and you almost feel embarrassed about it, but you shouldn't be embarrassed about it because that's just learning. You know what I mean? So, and you'll learn and fail, and it's all part of the same journey. So taking big risks like we've done with this one, this is actually our second big risk. The other one, we acquired another company which nearly bankrupt us about 3 times. It makes this journey easier because of all the stuff that I've learned there. And we just believe we can do it, so therefore we can grow. And if we can do it, we can have an effect on more people. And then gather the tribe, make the tribe even better. And it's fun. Because I don't even know how much money we've got in the bank account. I'm that oblivious to it. The financial guys, they laugh at me because I never log in. Now, it's not a good thing to do that because you should have a grip on your finances. But I was lucky enough to marry essentially my accountant, which is, so Shelley knows exactly what's going on, which is why she has such a big influence on the company. But if you deal with the people in a way and actually are sharp enough to know what's going on in your industry, you will win. Because the company is people. We're not a factory. And we're not slave traders either. Which is why big corporations are getting, they're having to wise up. And you can't just buy people as cheap as you can, make as much profit and sit them behind desks. So, but that's just my my journey. And so we will grow. That's what the future will be. Another one of these will come along. I've set myself a medium-term goal to have at least 10 of these. At which point I will probably give away half of each of them and keep equity, and that will be, instead of trying to sell the company, which could also be a possibility. But I had to really figure out early on, why am I doing this? And if you're only trying to run a business to just earn money, it's going to be a hard slog. So money, you have to earn money, but you can earn money getting a job. So some people run a business because it's a lifestyle thing. That's absolutely fine, as long as you know that's a lifestyle thing. But if you want to grow and want to have influence and want to make a difference, then a lifestyle isn't a good enough reason to run your business. Because ultimately it's all down to cash. Cash needs to flow. So the more cash, the bigger your influence in life, I think.
Do you work here as well, or do you just assist?
No, I'm commercial director. So internally looking. So I don't deal with clients. So doing lots of negotiations and efficiency and HR and I manage the ship internally.
You're everyone's mum.
Exactly.
That's it.
I'm everyone's mum. You're spot on.
And Tom's the dad that's never at home.
Tom's like the teenage kid. Forever just got an easy laugh and chats a lot and goes to lots of parties and somehow brings in sales because everyone loves Tom.
Yeah, I get you.
Are you filming me?
Of course. Of course.
Well, you need to be careful now when I say that. His management style is very empowering. So he'll take risks with people.
He takes risks with everything.
Yeah, no. They'll either fail.
Did he take a risk with you?
No, I'm a complete win.
Okay.
with your old friends.